Hello everybody, welcome to the Micheal Francis YouTube channel. And I look kind of mash up, but I'm on the floor anyway. My friend's sleeping there somewhere. Yeah, so now we're going to the story. My phone is going crazy, my social media, my YouTube. Who are all these people? Some of them they can't even speak English because their spelling is terrible. Yeah, so there's a lot of things I wanted to bring up, but I wanted to bring it up in court. Yeah, what's this rubbish about? Let's get to since I brought up the subject of Andre. I used to forget about, there's so much things that's happened in my life. Andre lost his life about 2 years ago. I don't know, somebody told me, and then I went down, they said that his mum, who's called Barbara Lee, she's got a big house on Tottenham High Road. And they say she's cut off everybody. She's not talking to nobody since Andre's death. Because I can't remember who told me, but he was apparently run over deliberately outside London in the countryside in the north or somewhere. They ran him over deliberately and killed him. These white people, and killed him. And I remember saying that when I found out Andre was dead, I was shocked. But I wasn't upset. I didn't wish that on him, but I did be honest, and I didn't feel any grief, huge grief. I thought it was quite sad, the way he died, but I just couldn't help it. I didn't feel any grief, like how when my baby father died in 2022, I dropped on the floor screaming and crying. I couldn't believe it. My heart sunk because it was traumatizing for me to hear when my baby father passed away in 2022, Simone's father. He was such a beautiful soul, a beautiful person. And he never broke the law, It was hardworking, born again, baptized in the blood of Jesus, But I'm starting to pick up a lot of things. These Asians attacking me all of a sudden. Now, what happened? You know what happened? This is why I want a comprehensive copy of my criminal record, but the police and the courts are not giving it to me. A few weeks ago, I was in court. Which court was it now? I can't remember. And there was a white judge. And I was applying for bail. But they were not giving me, and I'm representing myself. Now they have to give me a copy of my, a comprehensive copy of my criminal record. And they were refusing to basically give me the record. Then they broke the law. Now, I'm going to mention this in court because on the 27th, because that case has to be thrown out because everything they've done was illegal. You cannot have a bail application without me having and he's referred to my criminal record, without me having a copy to clarify whether it's correct or not. He was hiding it. Now I thought that was strange. He didn't want me to see because I can verify what is correct and what is not correct. You understand? So they're not letting people see, they're showing people my criminal record that is not mine. It must be something else they're showing them because I can verify what is mine and what is not. So I was convicted with Andre Lee at Leeds Crown Court by Judge Pickles, a very famous, infamous judge in the North, a very racist judge called Judge Pickles. Now, I was sentenced to 18 months imprisonment. Andre was sentenced to 6.5 years. Now, whether the story is relevant or not, I need to get this story out because I did not rob anybody. The reason why I got convicted is in Leeds is because the police, I wouldn't grass up Andre. I didn't grass him up. And The police gave me a chance, but to talk, and I said no. I don't know nothing. I'm basically I wouldn't talk. So that's why I got charged and sentenced because I didn't talk. So basically, what happened was I, I was on bail to Leeds. Was I on bail? Yeah, I was on bail to Leeds at my dad's house. Now, in Leeds, because Moxon, my baby father, Tishana's father is Moxon. Andre is not Tishana's father, even though Tishana has his name. She has Andre Lee's name, but she's not related to Andre, and she's not related to his any of the Lees. She's a St. Louis. She's St. Louisian, my daughter. So anyway, and she looks like her dad. She looks like Moxon St. Louis. She does not look like Andre. She's nothing to do with Andre. Andre said to me, because Moxon dumped me, he said he didn't want to know the baby and he didn't want to know me. So when I told Andre, when I told Andre, Andre says, "Don't worry, I'll be her father and I'll honor her by giving her my name and I will stand by her." But of course, when he came out of prison, he didn't do anything like that. He was very hyperactive, very irresponsible, very immature, and he wasn't really grasping the responsibility, the reality of what the role of a father is. So he's running up and down all over the place, smoking crack and robbing people and all kind of things. And I didn't see him, Andre, when he came out, like I said, until he gets back to prison. Then he contacts me. So basically, yeah, I got down to Leeds and I was walking down Gaythorne Terrace. Who did I see walking down the road? Andre. Now, Sammy Joe, it was Sammy Joe's friend. I was friends with Sammy Joe. I think that's how I met Andre, through Sammy Joe. And, but I wasn't interested in him. It was just a friend of Sammy Joe. So I saw him. I didn't really know him. So I said, "Oh," he said, "What are you doing down here?" I said, I live here. I'm from here. I was born here. I was born in Leeds. So he said, "I didn't know you was from these ends." So I said, "Yeah." So I said, "What are you doing here?" He said, "Oh, I'm going on a mission." So he used to talk a lot of street slang, but you know when you're trying to be cool, but you don't know what the hell they're talking about with their street slang. You haven't got an idea. So I said, "Oh." He said, "Do you want to come with me?" I said, "Okay." I'm not doing anything because I wasn't doing anything. I was just walking down the road and I was going home. So I was bored. So I said, "Okay, I'll come with you." But I never know what he mean by he's going on a mission. I had no idea. I was a bit slow. I wouldn't say slow, as I didn't understand his street slang then, you know what I mean? Because I'm from Leeds originally. So he said he's already called a cab. The cab will be here in a minute. So then we waited and we was just talking, and then the cab pulled up and the Asian guy, some poor Asian guy, and the car was really poor and cheap. So he said, "Come on, get in." So Andre got in the front passenger seat and I got in the back. So I said, "Where are we going?" So he's like, "Shut up a minute, shut up." And then he says, "Give me the money," or something, to the driver. And then he just punched him in the face and said, "Give me the money." So I said, "Oh my God, Andre, don't do that, don't do that. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing?" He just went blam, punched the man in his face and said, "Give me your money." So I said, "Oh my God, what the hell is this? What are you doing?" So he pulled out a gun and he said, "Shut up and hold this," and pointed to the front. So me like a fool now, I'm just there because it happened so fast and I didn't know what the fuck was going on. So I just hold it and this did what he said. So I think the guy had only like £5. You can see the guy was poor and struggling to make ends meet. So I thought, what the fuck is he doing, robbing poor people who don't have no money? You can see this man doesn't have no money. Look at his clothes, look at the car. You know what I mean? But I said, don't do it. When he punched him, I said, don't do that, don't do it. What are you doing? What are you doing? So he said, shut up, shut up, shut up. So I shut up and did what he said, just hold the gun. So then he pulled up, he told the driver to pull up outside my cousin's house, but I didn't know it was my cousin's house. Yeah, I didn't know it was my cousin because I don't know my cousin. This is a guy called Benji, Bonji or Benji, but he's my second cousin. He's my dad's sister Gladys's son. Sister Gladys is my dad's oldest sister. So her son, you know what I mean? So he's my second cousin. But I didn't know him and I didn't know where he lived. I didn't know whose house it was. He said, just come up here. So he pulled up the cab outside my cousin's house, right outside, who he just robbed with a gun. So we went upstairs. He said, just come on, quick, get upstairs, get upstairs. So I ran upstairs, don't know what the fuck is happening. I never know this was the mission, you understand? I thought it was just a bit of slang talk, or I'm going on a mission, I'm just going out somewhere. I never know he was going on robberies because I didn't know, I never knew Andre at all. I met him through, I think, Sammy Joe. Sammy Joe was my friend. And Sammy Joe's mum, Winifred, who was a social worker for Hackney Council at the time. So when we get upstairs now, he ushers me into this flat. Guess who's standing there? My cousin. So I said, oh my God, this is my cousin. How do you know my cousin? So my cousin was saying, what the fuck are you doing, man, to Andre? You brought the guy right outside my house. Oh, the police are going to be here in a minute. Let's get everything out. So I was just standing there wondering, like, I was just looking like, what the fuck is going on here? My cousin is involved. I don't know my cousin. Even though he's from Leeds, I have no idea I don't know him at all. His dad is called Uncle Leonard. I only know Uncle Leonard. I didn't know his children because Uncle Leonard would have kids to different women and we never know them. So my second cousin, Benji, I didn't know him, but I recognize that he's my cousin because I've seen him before somewhere in the family function somewhere. So he's saying to Andre, what the fuck are you doing? How can you just rob the guy outside my house and bring him outside my door? So Benji, my cousin, was saying, just get rid of these things now. The police are going to be here any minute now. So I was just standing there like a fool because I didn't even know what the fuck is going on. And remember, I was only 17 years old. I never know what the fuck was going on. So I can't remember. All I remember is they got rid of some stuff in the house. So it appeared to me that my cousin and Andre had been doing a series of robberies all over Leeds with this gun. And a lot of the things Benji bring back to his yard. So that's why he wanted to get rid of any evidence of other robberies. So two tools, I think we all got arrested. And I was already on bail for another matter involving my baby father, Moxon, who, funny enough, coincidentally enough, was the same kind of situation. I was in McDonald's in Victoria with Moxon, Lincoln, that's Moxon's friend, and another friend of Moxon's called Panfil. So I never know them. I was just with Moxon, hanging out with Moxon. So he said, let's go. I'm only 17. So he said, let's go to McDonald's and get something to eat. So we went to McDonald's. So they're choosing whole heap of food for themselves. So he threw down a couple of quid and said, you can get yourself a fillet of fish. You know what I mean? So because the fillet of fish take time to cook, them time there. I was 17. That was in 1987 or 1988. So they went downstairs with their food and I was waiting upstairs for my fillet of fish to be fried. So as they were going downstairs on their own together, I wasn't there. They robbed a woman as she was coming up the stairs. So they went downstairs laughing and sat down and started eating. And I heard a woman complaining to the manager saying, "Can I speak to the manager, please?" And then the manager came out and I heard her saying overheard, "Some black men, 3 black men have just tried to rob me." So the manager called the police. So then they said, "Your fillet fish is ready." And so then I took the fillet of fish, went downstairs to join them. And I said, "You do know that there's a woman upstairs that's complained to the manager that 3 black guys tried to rob her and the manager's called the police." So Moxon said, "Oh, sit down and shut up, man, you fool. Just sit down and just eat your fillet of fish and shut up." So I said, "Okay, cool." So I sat down eating my fillet of fish, minding my own business. Then the police came and they came straight over to the table. Straight away, Moxon took up the whole cards. He had a stack of stolen credit cards that had nothing to do with me. I was just with Moxon, yeah, because I liked Moxon. I fancied Moxon. So basically, the fillet of fish bag that I was eating, he just took out a big, massive wad of stolen credit cards and just dumped them pushed them in my McDonald's bag while I was eating, right in front of the police officer. Then the police officer pointed his finger at me and said, "You're arrested for handling stolen goods." And then he pointed at Francis Panfil and said, "You're arrested for handling stolen goods too." So I thought, what the fuck is this? Is this a joke? And the woman clearly did not give the description of any woman there, because you can see on the CCTV, I was standing at the counter waiting for my fillet of fish. But remember, I was only 17 then, and I'd just come up from Leeds to live in London. So I was very naive. I wasn't streetwise at that time. So two tools now, I was just quiet because I was only 17 and I wasn't really used to this type of thing. So they said to me, "You're arrested." So they took me to the station and processed me. And that's how I got to be on bail in Leeds. And then I met Andre walking down Gaythorne Terrace. He says, "I'm going on a mission. Do you want to come?" So I'm jumping in the car now. He says, get in the back. Because I wasn't even sure if I was coming. He said, "Get in the back, quick, get in the back." So, and then Two Tools, he punches the guy and pulls out a gun and says, "Give me my money. Give me your money." Then he drives to a house and I find out it's my cousin, who I don't know, but I know I'm definitely related to him on my dad's side. And then I find out my cousin is involved, knows this guy, and is involved in a series of robberies all over London. And it's got a lot of evidence in his house. And I get arrested, my cousin gets arrested, and Andre gets arrested. So Two Tools, when there was an interview, I didn't give any information because I didn't want to grass up Andre, but that was the kind of level of loyalty we had them time there. Even though I wasn't involved, I kept quiet, so I was charged as well. So the officer gave me a chance. He said, "Listen, I'm giving you a chance. Just tell us, everything and whatnot." And I said, "No." He said, "Okay, you don't. Do you mind being charged?" I said, "No, I don't mind." You understand? Because I was only 17. He said, "All right, then it's up to you." So I kept quiet and everything, and anyway, Two Tools, I got 18 months. I got 18 months for the handling stolen goods, the credit cards that were Moxon's that had nothing to do with me. And I got 18 months for this armed robbery that had nothing to do with me neither. But I didn't realize I was being stitched up by the authorities for crimes that I'm not committing, mixing with these criminals who were put there. Because how come that police officer clearly saw a box and dumped them in my bag and they said it was me, and the woman gave a description of 3 black men, and clearly on the CCTV I was at the counter, I was nowhere near the woman. So it wasn't till I wrote that letter, after I wrote that letter to Michael Howard in 2005, everything started to trickle out. That's when I realized all these things. So I said, wait a minute, Do you mean to say all these things was a stitch up? So I thought, shit. And then they tried to suggest all kind of shit that was crazy. Haitian people, King Charles, Prince Philip, it was just madness. I thought, these people are so obsessed with all these things, stitching me up in prison, making my life hell, raping me, all kind of stuff. That was all happening to me because I noticed nothing was happening to anybody else. Sammy Joe, Natalie, just me, the quiet one. So more time now. While I'd just been raped when those things happened, those two charges, false charges. I'd just been almost raped in Brixton with Sammy Joe. Sammy Joe took me to a house and her sister, who's mixed race, was involved in it. Talking to the guy, arranging, because Sammy Joe was supposed to go to court in the morning for rape, for guys raping her as a witness. And she said she needed to sleep over because her mom lived in Kent. So she needed to sleep over in Brixton at this house. So she could get to court in the morning, early, on time. But she was lying. Because when we got to the house, she said it was only her friend Patrick there. This other guy answered the door. And I didn't know Patrick or none of these people. This tall black guy and two tools now. He took me around, the shoulders round to the back, a back bedroom that was already made up and tidy and neat, and said, oh, you two can sleep in here for the night and then you go to court in the morning. You leave in the morning. So I never took off my clothes. I just took off my trainers and kept everything on. And I slept in the bed, the same bed as Sammy Joe. And then two doors, I was sleeping and I felt something rubbing on my leg. So I pushed my hand to push it away and I felt something there, somebody there, and I opened my eyes like this. And I saw this black man kneel down with his big, massive black dick. The tall guy that came and answered the door, his dick was massive. I just saw this black. It was black like this and it was big and long and thick, and he was rubbing his dick on my leg. So I started screaming. I said, what the fuck is this? I started screaming crazy. And Sammy Joe wouldn't move. She was pretending to be sleeping. I had no way she could be sleeping through that screaming. So I grabbed her, Sammy Joe, Sammy Joe, Sammy Joe. The man's trying to rape me. So then she jumped up. I jumped up, and then she jumped up. And then he was just after me. He said, are you me want? Are you the one me want? And he was beating the shit out of me because I was fighting him off. I was only this little 17-year-old girl. This is a big old man, you know. And he's taller, tall. And then he said, right, I have enough of this. You fight too much. So he went to turn off the light and grabbed me. And I just flew out the window. I just saw the window open and I just jumped out the window. And then I realized it's back to back. There's no back exit. So I just dived. I saw about like a 15, 20 foot high wall. I don't know how I did it. Honest, no lie, I jumped over it. I just one leap and I was off that fucking thing. And I just heard my head go crack because I landed on my head and I heard a crack, but I didn't have no time to think about, was that my head? I just ran straight for the next fence, 20 foot, jumped over that. Then there was another fence, I jumped over that. And I could hear Sammy Joe say, way behind, I couldn't even see her. She's saying, bloody hell, Micheal, how did you get over this? Wait for me? Me? Wait for what? For the rapist? I was gone. Like Usain Bolt. And then I said, fuck this. This is just a long road with 20-foot high walls. So I saw this glass door, back door and window. I just smashed it in and went straight through the glass and walked into their house, ran into their house. Then I was looking, what shall I do? Where shall I hide? And I saw a door. So I ran in there. It was a bathroom and I locked the door and I wouldn't let nobody in. So I could hear the man saying, it's all right. I could hear him talking to Sammy Joe. And he said, he's a white middle-class Irish couple, but they're born here. They were saying, It's all right, Michelle. He's not here, he's gone. It's just Sammy Joe here. I've called the police. The police are on their way immediately. So I won't come out. I still won't come out. I was still opening it. I was frightened. I said, no, that man is there. He's going to get me. I don't know who that man is. So eventually, he calmed me down. He said, listen, through the other side of the door, I promise you, you are safe in my house with me. The police are on their way. I won't let no one hurt you. I've got a 12-inch carving knife here in my hand. I won't let no one hurt you. So eventually, I opened the door slowly because I was so scared the man might jump from around the corner. And then I opened the door, and then the blood was dripping from all over me, and I just burst out crying. And I said, I'm sorry, I've got blood on your white carpet. He said, don't worry about that, my darling. The police are going to be here any second now. And then we went, Sam and Joe said, come to the front door, Michelle. So I came to the front door, and the police had him in handcuffs. They were there in seconds with a meat van, handcuffs behind his back, and he was in the back of the van, gone to the police station. Then we were taken to the police station to have a checkup by the station doctor, and which was an Asian man, and make statements. So it was just after that. Now the man is on bail for raping me. I got stitched up with Moxon and Andre with crimes I did not commit. So now recently, two tools now, I find out say how these Haitian people are attacking me and all kind of shit. And he's spreading rumor that I rob people with gun. And I'm like, what the fuck are these stupid packies talking about? This is not me. That was Andre. It's got nothing to do with me. Number one, I don't rob poor people. I won't rob poor people. That don't make sense. How can you rob somebody of £5 and £2 and 5p? What the fuck is that? You know what I mean? And all this kind of shit. And I've never pickpocket in my life. I don't know how to pickpocket. I am not Oliver Twist because Oliver Twist learned how to pickpocket. I never do these things in my life. I never pickpocket people back a handbag and purse. That was Moxon, Lincoln, Panfield, Greg. What was the other one called? I forgot his name. Susie. They called him Susie. All them kind of man, they're from West London. You know what I mean? They were nothing to do with me. They were friends. It was, I met those pickpockets through Natalie. Natalie knew a lot of criminals because she was born and grew in West London. So I never know these criminals there. And then the other Andre I met through Sammy Joe, who was also born and bred in London. And her mum was a social worker for Hackney Council, Hackney Social Services, should I say. So while I was in prison now, Sammy Joe's, this case, stitched up with these two cases, and I got sentenced 18 months for each. And I did the full 18 months. And then come out and find out my dad was murdered. And my stepmom still didn't give us our inheritance. And a Jamaican guy and a Nigerian guy apparently came and swindled her out of the money. But there's a lot more to the story, as a lot of people know. So somebody has been making up lies to turn up these Asians against me, to force me against them, to try and force me, because why all of a sudden all these stupid stories and setting all kinds of people against me? So Michael Howard has been desperate to build a case against Muslims. So the Muslims around here, they're very dunce, because even the ones in the police station, they must be either dunce or they're working with Michael Howard and pretending that they're on the other side. Because clearly, if you look at, that's why I said I wanted a comprehensive copy of my criminal record. If I'm going to still try and get it, and then I will be able to show you on the record, because it will have a breakdown of the actual alleged offence. And clearly then you can get the number of the guys, the police officers investigating, and then you find their reports and find out that I was not actually involved in any of these crimes at all. You see what I'm saying? So I don't believe that the Asian police officers are that dunce, and the Asian Muslim population around Tower Hamlets could be that dunce. I believe Michael Howard is behind it, and he's trying to stir up as much hostility from the Muslims towards me in order to push me against them back, in order to defend myself. That's why I just take my time for all these years, because I can see that Michael Howard is trying to use me to beat down the Muslims and beat them good and proper. And I'm not a bat. I'm not a bat and ball to be used by people to beat down people. You understand? So what happened is, I can see this. And then what happened is, I think it was like a few years ago, my cousin Benji died of cancer all of a sudden. He died of cancer. And then a couple of years now, Andre passed away as well. He was murdered by a hit and run, a deliberate hit and run that was targeting him deliberately. So those two are dead. Now, basically, this is all after I wrote the letter to Michael Howard, because they've been living for a long time enjoying their life up until I wrote that letter, and then complaining about the black community, people coming up against me and attacking me and doing all kinds of things in the black community. I never once mentioned the Muslim, because I had no connection with Muslim up until that point. The only connection I had was in 2001 or 2002, I took Shahada at the Brixton Mosque, and nobody pushed me or forced me. I went there by myself because I wanted to be a Muslim. So up until that stage, that's the only connection I had. I never had any particular Muslims, in particular, I never had any Muslims attacking me until after I wrote the letter to Michael Howard, not realizing too much about the politics I've learned along the way. Then I learned that Michael Howard hates Muslims or something like that. They hate Muslims because, remember, Boris Johnson said Muslim women look like letterboxes and all that kind of thing. So, two tools now. Benji, I believe, I forgot to tell you, my cousin Benji did not get any sentence at all. No sentence at all. And I got 18 months, and I'm his cousin, his female cousin, and I got 18 months. Andre got 6.5 years. And remember, they were asking me to talk, and I said, no, I'm not talking. I don't have nothing to say to you. And that's why I got 18 months, because I didn't talk. And the police officer said, I'm giving you a chance to talk. And I said, no. So he said, do you mind being charged then? I said, no, I don't mind. So clearly, Benji put on the spot with all the stuff, because I don't think Benji had the chance to get everything out of the house on time. And if he did, put them downstairs in the bin, the police would have been able to take the stuff out of the bin and link him to a whole series of armed robberies with him and Andre, right across Yorkshire. You understand me? So clearly, it was very obvious my cousin Benji was involved in a series of armed robberies with Andre. But obviously, I had nothing to do with any of it at all. Nothing. I didn't even know my cousin. You know what I mean? Because I didn't have anything to do with him. I know his dad, Uncle Leonard, because I used to see Uncle Leonard, but Uncle Leonard has enough kids to different women, so I never know the kids them till I met Benji through Andre on that day. So it was quite clear to me that, I didn't know at the time, but it was quite clear to me when I heard Benji died of cancer at a young age, still relatively quite young. It was quite obvious to me that Benji grasped up Andre and put everything on him. I said it was him forcing me or something like that to do these robberies. But why did he not get? Why did it implicate me? Why did he turn around and say, "Well, the truth, Micheal don't have nothing to do with it"? You know what I mean? But anyway, Benji wasn't in the car, in the taxi, so rightly so, it's a minicab. Benji wasn't in the minicab, so then again, he couldn't really verify what happened in the minicab because he wasn't there. But he did have evidence. He could verify that him and Andre had been admitting that they did a series of armed robberies around Yorkshire on a lot of people. So Benji didn't get sentenced because he went Queen's evidence. And I believe that's why he was deliberately targeted and died of cancer later on. But I didn't know this till Benji died. When I saw it on the Facebook, the cousin saying, RIP, cuz, I thought to myself, it's really sad because it coming like people set him up to be dead because they found out he gave Queen's evidence or something like that, and it was a big grass. Because I don't know how Benji didn't get no sentence. How come? And you know what I mean? And I got a sentence and I didn't even do anything. So that was obvious. Then Andre looked like Tupac. That's why I don't like Tupac. My spirit don't take Tupac. I love Tupac's mother. She's a legend. But my spirit don't take Tupac because Tupac was kind of high pop, just like Andre. Because Andre used to put on his American accent, you know what I mean? His American slang, because his dad lived in Canada. His dad's American. So he would always put on this accent, but he lived a ruthless life. He was ruthless, Andre. The only time he sit down and talk sweet was when he's in prison. When he come out, he just switch. He's a different person, you know? And the only one time I slept with him when he first came out, and I didn't even give him permission. He just climbed on top of me and take it. And it was very rough. It was like rape. He had no consideration for me as a human being. It was like I was just a lump of meat underneath him. And I'm sure he ripped my something there. And I had to go to the doctors and get stitches back again. You know, it was awful. He was very reckless, very irresponsible, very immature. He had no clue or idea on how to behave as in conduct with society norms. He was just a wild animal. I'll be very honest with you. He was just a wild animal. And reckless. He completely had a complete disregard for everyone. You know what I mean? It wasn't just white people. He had a disregard for black people. And he was just wild and brute. What's the word? Brutal. And this guy he met in prison, this white guy, coming like a BMP. My head kept coming. He coming like a racist. One of them. He was very racist, basically. And I kept thinking, what the fuck is Andre doing with this racist? Andre lived a dangerous life. Very dangerous life. I know that. He was reckless. So I'm just surprised that he lived so long. That's what he was only 2 years ago he was murdered. I'm surprised he lived so long. He was absolutely reckless. Anyway, that's what happened. I did not rob anybody. I did not absolutely rob no Pakistani minicab driver. It was Andre and my cousin Benji, who were both doing a series of robberies across Yorkshire. They had nothing to do with me. I was not involved. I don't know either of them, to be honest. I didn't know Andre then. I was walking down Gaythorne Terrace in Chapeltown. That's where I lived. That's where I was born and grew up. You understand? I used to play down going for terrace sometimes as a child. And I was surprised to see Sammy Joe's friend, Andre, walking up Gavon Terrace towards me. He'd already called the minicab before I saw him walking up the street as I was walking down. Because he told me he already called a minicab. So when he told me he's going on a mission, I thought he was going to somebody's house to visit somebody or whatever. I didn't know he was actually talking about robbery. I would not have got in the car. You understand what I'm saying? There's no way. My dad was very highly respected in Chapeltown. There's no way I could be conducting robberies right there where it's just fucking crazy. You know what I mean? I would never do that, and I never did that anyway. I've never handled firearms at all. Neither, that's another thing. So that's the story. So you got all these Asians attacking me. Then there was this Pakistani man who I met in McDonald's. Now, my key worker at the time was Nadia. She's Bangladeshi Muslim girl. She was the one who told the doctors and the nurses, oh, Micheal just she picked up this Pakistani man from McDonald's and brought her home to her house. So they put it down on the system and said Micheal picked up a Pakistani man and brought a strange man back to her house. Like I was a prostitute or something like that. You understand? So it wasn't like that. I used to go to the McDonald's down here on Commercial Road from the time I lived at 298 because the medication they used to give me, I couldn't sleep at night. So because it was a 24-hour McDonald's, I used to go and sit down and buy a cup of tea. I didn't buy no food because I never liked the food. I just used to buy a cup of tea and sit outside and smoke. And when it was too cold, I'd come back inside and sit down inside for a bit and buy another cup of tea. I just sit down there passing time because I couldn't sleep. So basically, one of the time I was sitting in there having a cup of tea during the night, I saw these two white junkies coming in, a boy and a girl. And they just quickly scampered out. So I never really noticed nothing. Then afterwards, I went and sat on another chair because too many people were coming around me. So I went to the other side to sit down. And then this Pakistani man came over, a Muslim man. He said, do you know where my bag is? So at first, I could have taken offense, but because I was so polite then, I said, excuse me, sir, have you lost your bag or something? Because really, the Pakistani man, the Muslim man, is a racist. Because he came up to me and said, do you know where my bag is? Now, all the people in there were white. I was the only black person there. Why would you come there, sit down, see me sitting down, minding my business, and ask me, do I know where your bag is? That means you're asking me, did I thief it? So I didn't want to insult the man. So I tried to be very helpful. I said, sorry, I haven't got your bag. I don't know where your bag is. I have no idea. And that was the truth. I only went in there to buy a cup of tea and sit down there to pass the time like I usually did. So then he went to tell me the story about his bag has gone with his passport, his money, his everything was in there, he said. His ticket, his everything. And he's from Ireland. And he came over to do a graduation and he's got nowhere to stay. So we used my phone to call, I think the police or something, or a hotel. I know he has to use my phone. So I said, yeah, you can use my phone. I phoned for him, the bank, to put a stop on his card and then things like that to see if he can find a hotel. But then he told me he's got no money, no card, because it was stolen by whoever stole it. Then I remember the junkies that came in and then they quickly scampered out. So they would have moved very quickly and took the bag and gone. As you can see, they were on heroin and all that. They look really, mash up. They look like typical skagheads, or what you call them, junkies on heroin. So I helped him to phone and he couldn't get nowhere. Then he told me that he doesn't really have any money or a card because they just stole it. So he said, where am I going to stay? He was saying. And after some time I said, okay, you can stay at my house, because I just felt so sorry for him. I said, no worry, you can stay at my house. It's no problem. until he said it's only for a day or two because he needs to go to his graduation the next day. Then he will fly back to Ireland. So I said, okay, no problem. It's only for one day. But it was only supposed to be for one night, actually. Then he came. He said, oh, you got a nice place. It's lovely. He said, you're very lucky because in Pakistan, they don't even have this. So I never really take it anyway, but I thought, what do you mean in Pakistan? Like I should be lucky for a council flat, a one-bedroom council flat. So anyway, I never go into it. I said, oh, thank you. So I made him comfortable in the living room and I go into my bed. So you wake up, he does his prayers, you use the bathroom. I said, the bathroom's there. You use the bathroom because at that point, I never practiced as a Muslim yet. He was practicing as a Muslim. He was doing his prayers and things like that. And in the morning, he go to the his graduation. Yeah, he went to his graduation. I bought him a day pass for the full day because he didn't have no pass because he said, how am I going to get there and back? So I used my card, my bank card, because I didn't used to spend off my money then. People see me shopping now. I didn't shop then. I used to save up my money. I just used to go to McDonald's and buy a cup of tea. That was the most luxury I used to use then time there. So I always had a whole heap of money in my bank account. So I paid for the thing there for him. The 1 day travel card. So that will give him bus and train and DLR for the day. So then he go there, he come back. Later on he came back and he showed me the photographs of the graduation. A photograph of his wife and the newborn baby back home in Ireland. So, or Pakistan, I don't know where. So anyway, he stayed there and then I think he was making an excuse that he's phoning a friend to get a connection back to Ireland. So he went on and he stayed there for quite a while. Quite some time. Then he got desperate and he's saying to me, he first he said he has to go to the Pakistan embassy. It's in Kensington. Then I said, okay. Then he said, no. I said, why you not? I thought you was going to the Pakistani embassy. He said, oh, Micheal, I need you to go there for me. Go to the Pakistani embassy and tell them, basically it was saying something like, he want me to go to the Pakistani embassy. He's got a friend that he knows in there. And then he said he will sort out the paperwork so he can get a British citizenship from my house. Because he's telling me that I have to give the man my address and his details as living in my address and my details to file for him. I'm thinking, what the fuck is this? Wait a minute. This man told me he got robbed. Now he's telling me he knows somebody in the Pakistani embassy in Kensington and in somewhere he said, I think, I can't remember, Kensington. Then he's telling me he's applying for British citizenship. You can't just apply. I don't know him. You're a stranger. You just told me you got robbed and you were just staying there overnight and you're going back home to Ireland. Now you keep putting off to stay in my house as long as possible. Now you're begging me, please go and put in an application so he can have a citizenship, a British citizenship from my house, my address. But I didn't see anything too suspicious. I just thought, this man is taking the fucking piss now. Then, basically, he said he's getting some money from his friend, another friend, send him some money. So he pay, I'm not sure if he paid into my account. It was only £300 or £200. So he paid in there. Then after now, he's been in my house so long, I said, you know what, I would like you to go. He said, but Micheal, I'm very grateful for your time here, but I need to get my stay sorted out. The British, I never signed up for that, my brethren. I never signed up for that, and you've been in my house all this time now. So basically, it was Huey that basically said to me, because I told Huey the Pakistani man stay in my house and he's still here. So Huey said, I'm not coming there till that Pakistan man gets out of your house. You get him out of your house now, or you're not going to see me there. So I went to the Pakistani man and I said, listen, you have to go now. Because I was going to let him stay till he try sort out his thing. And then Huey just says, get him out. Get him fuck out of your house. So Huey was right to talk like that because he was taking the piss out of a good-hearted woman. Remember, I never steal his purse, with his things. It was nothing to do with me. I don't know white people. Do you see me with any white people? You know what I mean? I don't know them. You understand? And I wasn't taking no drugs or nothing. So I don't know them. I just went there for tea. I had my money in my account because I never used to spend hardly any money then. Only really on Huey. Like now and then when Huey want money, I would send him money. But I never used to spend like be buying clothes and buying this. I used to go to the second-hand shop. Them time there. The charity shops, I mean. To if I wanted to buy or like a one pair of jeans, I used to go to the charity shop and have my money pile up. And plus I was doing my begging as well. So my money was just piling up there and in the house. So I didn't need his stupid bag with his, you know what I mean? So he wouldn't go. And you said, get him out of the house. So I said, he's refusing to go. He won't go. He said he wants to stay here and sort out his British citizenship first. Then he said he will go. So I think you said just call the police. So I did. I called the police. And the police officers came. I think one was white, one was Asian. And they turned around and said to him, you're taking the piss. This woman put you up in her house for one night or 2 nights and look how long you're here. And now you're asking for British citizenship. Get the fuck out now. And he went, but, and the police officer said, no, get out. Because obviously the police were watching for a long time. Everybody, the NHS, social services, because Nadia, right from the beginning, I had a key worker that would come and visit me. And when I first got that place, she was still there, coming and visit me. Her name was Nadia. She's from Tower Hamlets as well. She's Bangladeshi Muslim girl, a young girl. She was the one who told the authorities, alerted the authorities straight away. So even if I said to him, okay, I'll try to get you British citizenship, I would have got myself into big trouble because the authorities were already watching. Because Nadia tipped them off. There's a man in the house. She doesn't know him. He's Pakistani Muslim. She just picked him up from McDonald's and he's been staying at her house ever since. So the NHS and the social services had it written down on the records already. Oh, Micheal goes to McDonald's and picks up strange men and brings them back to her house. Which was not true. It was only this one man he wasn't strange, he was normal. He's a Muslim man, he's normal. There was nothing unusual about him. He was very polite. And he said he had nowhere to stay and he was just being robbed. So that's the only reason why I don't pick up strange men like that. Never. But it's only because he told me he was robbed and he had nowhere to stay and he had a graduation the next day. And it was very important for him. He'd worked hard for that thing there. And that's the only reason why he came to the UK was for the graduation, he told me. But then it changed from that to getting British citizenship. You understand me? So he was taking the piss and then he stayed longer and longer. So I kept the £300 anyway for myself because I feel that was amped. And basically the police told him, you need to get out. I don't think you should be asking for anything. You need to leave now. You've overstayed. So he took up his things eventually and he left. And I never saw him again. But this is no excuse for the Muslim community. And the Asian and the Sikh and the Hindu and the Buddhist and the Pandit. Even the Vietnamese have been attacking me because Terry, who works here in this building, she works in the office on the corner on the Commercial Road, 298 Commercial Road. She told lies on me as well. She said when she was pregnant, I went to attack her. No one ever the CCTV. The lawyer in TV Edwards turned around and said they viewed all the CCTV and she lied. Everything she said was a lie. I didn't even touch her, nothing, no way at all. I didn't threaten her. I didn't touch her. She was the one shouting at me because I was talking to Peterson. So, and Peterson owed me money. Remember them time that I had my money. Peterson never have no money, and Peterson used to borrow money from me. So when she saw him take out £10 and give to me, she just assumed I'm taking money off Peterson. Why the fuck would I? And she didn't assume. She knew I wouldn't do that because Peterson's got learning disability. And not only that, Peterson's on something called pointership, where he doesn't control his money. The government controls his money. So how can you take money off Peterson? He doesn't even know his head from his toe. It was Peterson that always asked me to borrow money. He always called me Mama Africa. He said, Mama Africa, can you borrow me £10, please, Mama Africa? So I always used to borrow him money, and he always repaid it back. You understand me? And so what she witnessed was him paying me back the £10 that he owed me from long time. And she turned around and says, oh, you're taking money off Peterson. When or why would I do that? You understand what I'm saying? Then she said I attacked her. And it was all on CCTV. She lied. So she have a baby, 2 babies to a Vietnamese guy. Then this Vietnamese guy at the bus stop opposite 298 started shouting at me and threatening to punch me in my head in. Because she told lie. Now all whole heap of things happened. There's a Kushiara, a shop across the road that I used to buy my rice, my meat, my vegetable, my seasoning. When I lived at 298, it's opposite. They've got Kushiara shop and Kushiara MoneyGram place where you exchange money. All of a sudden they were telling me, don't come in this shop, get out, no, don't come here. And I thought, bloody hell, what? And then when I went to Iceland, this old Asian man just grabbed my breast and pulled my breast in Iceland. And all kinds of shit. So let's face it, it's Michael Howard. He's absolutely besotted in making a case against Muslims. Now, to be honest with you, I never want to get involved because, number one, it's not just political, but it's racist, this business here. It's not just down to politics, it's down to blatant racism. And to be honest with you, I'm not that way inclined, to be honest with you. Everybody just wants to live a peaceful life. War all the time. War. Everybody has to be fighting all the time. You know what I mean? That's why I don't like politics, because it would never end. Of course it would never end, because it never has an end. It doesn't have an end date. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. I don't get involved in politics because you will never find an end. You will just be constantly, and what they're doing, they abuse me because I'm not a member of any political party, but I noticed that the Conservatives were keeping me registered there when I deregistered. And then when I joined the Labour Party to get them off my back, the Labour Party started doing the same. So I deregistered from them, and they kept me on their books, still sending me emails when I deregistered, saying, oh, thank you for being a member of the Labour Party. Thank you for being a member of the Conservative Party. So I know they were playing back and forth, playing me. Now, if I join a political party, I'm not joining because I want to be involved in this petty foolishness. I want to contribute something to, that's what I wanted to, the reason in the past, to contribute something positive in the black community. You understand? Because I thought they can help me set up a group. They can help me, you know what I mean? You know, things like that help the community. You know what I mean? But they're not about that. They're just about using me as a ball, and they're just batting me like a football. you know, and getting me all involved in all these kind of lies that have been made up. Oh, she robbed me, she dissed me, she don't do this. I haven't done nothing. Then they've been raping me unconscious because one girl said the other day, there was this white girl on the YouTube, and she was speaking the Jamaican patois. Say, "Me have the big fat pum pum, you know." They call it something when the pum pum is really extra fat or something, got a lot of fat on it. She said that's what she have, but them big fat pussy there, them big and wide and deep. It's not the fat pum pum that keep the man, because my pum pum is compact, but it's still got fat there, but it might not be the overly fat, but it's still got fat, not a lot of fat there still. But what it is the tightness. That's what keep the man. It's not your pum pum could have fat like a pig. From your pum pum loose, that's what Dr. Umar call it, loosey goosey. From your pum pum is loose and wide. The man's not, you can't keep the man. You can't keep the man. Because the pum pum not tight enough. It's just big and fat and wide and loose. You know what I mean? Like he's fucking an ocean. A man like to feel the tightness. So to that girl there, me have the tightness. And that's what the man them like. You know what I mean? It's not the fatness that is everything. It's the tightness, and it's a combination of balance. You understand? So, a whole heap of pettiness like this. Oh, white girls have fat, their pum pum more fatter than black girls. Listen, me have the tight. My pum pum is just right. It's not skinny. It's not overly fat like a pig. It's just perfect, compact and tight. My baby father used to call me needle eye pum pum. Because I have the tight pum pum. That's why I'm gonna sleep around, because you can't keep a man with a loosey goosey. You know what I mean? Stretch out and, you know what I mean? Wide and deep. You know what I mean? And the man don't feel nothing when he go in there. But you know, they're so petty and stupid. But I never thought they would have targeted my kids, Micheal Howard. Because why I got mad with Micheal Howard and start to turn it back around on him and threaten him and his family, because he was involving my kids into the politics, my friends. And he got so far because I wouldn't play ball with him. So what he did, he started to manipulate my children into this political shit. Now, if he have a grievance, he's targeting me. He's been targeting me for decades, Micheal Howard, the Conservative Party and the CIA, who he employs in his diligence agency. But I completely, absolutely object to Micheal Howard manipulating and forcing my children into this political shambles. You know what I mean? And I know that they're playing games with my daughter from long years back now, because Tishana has been very snappy for years now. And she's a beautiful person. She's lovely. She's calm. She's well-spoken. She's articulated. She's beautiful. She's feminine. And now, for the past how many years, she's been very snappy, angry, bad-tempered. That's not my baby. That's Micheal Howard pushing all these buttons, getting people at her to use my children to fight for him. Because I'm not going to fight for him, so he's been using my children, manipulating them. Then when they fight for him, they get all the shit back now. Because that's what they do. They use people to fight for them, and then when the shit hits the fan, they go running the other way and leave people who they've been using to take all the shit for them. So that's why I don't get involved. I just ignore him. But I object to him using my children. Because when he's ready, he run uncomfortable, and his kids, his grandkids are comfortable. He's left my children in shit. That's why I got angry and I threatened him and his family, because I've had enough. He was the one that pushed the boundaries first. He used my children in his political game, in this war, so-called against, he want to make him get a score over the black community and the Muslim community, and he used my children because mummy wouldn't play ball. So he went behind my back without my knowledge and started manipulating my children into this political fucking arena. Now, that's a big mistake he's made in his life. He will never, I don't like the man, and I still don't like the man. I do not like Michael Howard, and I still don't like him. He's a dangerous motherfucker because that's how the youths are getting killed and knives and stabbed, because he's involving people's kids behind their back into the game. You see? So I don't know what they've done with my daughter, but I don't like you, Michael Howard. They send messages on YouTube called the Archangel Michael. You're not a fucking archangel. I don't like you. I don't need you. I don't want you. You see, that's what he don't like. He don't like the fact that I don't need him. I don't want him. I don't, I don't desire them people in my life. I don't need any politicians, Labour or Conservative. And I didn't start it with that letter in this political shit. Because in 1999, September 1999, they put in my statements at Wimbledon County Court. They said, Micheal has left-wing views. Now, I didn't know what left-wing, I had no idea about politics. I didn't know what left-wing was. Because I had to ask. I said, what does left-wing mean? Because I felt embarrassed. I said, what does left-wing mean? I've got left-wing views. And he said, oh, it's political. So they've involved me from politics. That's why I blame Michael Howard, not from 2005 alone. From before then, that motherfucker was involved in my life. You understand? I don't owe him shit. He's not done anything for me. I've suffered. I lost a baby in 2006 because of Michael Howard. I was pregnant to Carlos Williams. And I was quite heavily pregnant. And Michael Howard fucked it up because I wouldn't go against Muslims. You see, because I took Shahada in 2001 or 2002. So I was a Muslim for a long time, but I didn't know how to practice it because nobody showed me till 2020, which was Roger, and he's another motherfucker. What the fuck was I doing with a man who stabbed a young girl in her pussy? He's a nasty motherfucker. I don't like Roger. I can't stand him. My spirit don't take him. He's a thief. He's a liar. He's a murderer. He's a drug dealer. He's a nasty piece of shit. He's arrogant, cocky. He's abusive. I don't like him. He's got no class at all. He does sit there with his ugly face like, say, he's God's gift to women because he's got a 50-inch dick. Who wants a horse? Nobody wants to fuck a horse. No woman wants to fuck a horse. I'm telling you. As a woman. That's a put off. So, I've been through a whole heap of shit. There's a whole heap of stories I could tell. But I'm getting tired. I'm going to have a smoke break. And while this is on charge, I'm going to start uploading it onto the YouTube. So enjoy, people. Yeah. I don't see none of my kids. The other night, my soul cried. My friend Mariam, can you see her there? She said, Micheal. I said, what? She said, did you enjoy your sleep last night? I said, yeah, it was all right. I slept well. She said, but I heard you crying all night in your sleep. And it shocked me. My soul, Michael Howard has gone so far and pushed so many boundaries that I actually cry in my sleep without even realizing or having any idea that I'm crying. She said, you were weeping. She said it was more like a weeping, somebody weeping all night. I hate that man. He's gone so far and so deep that he's disturbed the ancestors. He's disturbed the ancestors. You know how deep that is? He's disturbed the ancestors. That's when your soul weeps. That's how deeply disturbed. Fucking about with my kids. I never mentioned that for a long time, but because I know these people are powerful. And I know what they can do. They can destroy me. They can destroy anybody they want. But I will stand up to him when he fucks up. He's gone too far. He fucked with my kids. Because of him, I've got a child dead. That's directly because of Micheal Howard in 2006. When I told Seymour I was pregnant in 2006 and I lost the baby, through a forced abortion. Because I was planning to have my baby. I was quite heavily gone when I was forced to take that abortion. And they locked up my baby father, Carlos, at the time. They locked him up for 8.5 years while I was pregnant. Can you believe that? And then they were telling me they're going to take my baby and adopt it to a gay couple and outside the country. Fucking hell. And I had nobody there. The baby father wasn't there to back me up in court. I thought, shit, what have I done to deserve this? You know? I blame Micheal Howard. He killed my baby. He's a child murderer. Micheal Howard is a child murderer. Anyway, let me have a break now. I need to wee-wee.